Injury update on Liv Morgan following concerns at WWE Saturday Night main event. We now know more about Liv Morgan's injury status after her bloody title match last night. Saturday night's main event saw IYO SKY challenge Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's Championship. Morgan managed to retain her title, but not without taking some damage. Her nose was noticeably bleeding throughout the match and continued to do so after the bell had rung and while she held her championship belt aloft, sparking concerns for her injury status and whether she'll be sidelined in the coming weeks. It was unclear which moment led to the busted nose, as Liv Morgan and IYO SKY were trading stiff blows throughout the match. The finish came when Morgan blocked Sky's moonsault attempt and hit the Oblivion off the ropes to pick up the 3 count. The multiple knees delivered by Sky throughout the bout are believed to be the cause for the bleeding nose. Mike Johnson from PWInsider has provided an update on Morgan's current status, reporting, "The word we are hearing is that Liv Morgan is okay and somehow did not suffer a broken nose. I have not confirmed why her nose was bleeding after the IYO SKY dropkick, but we are told Morgan was checked out by WWE Medical and was okay." Morgan's heroics didn't go unnoticed, with a returning Jess Ventura commending the champion for continuing despite her injury. The 73-year-old WWE Hall of Famer and former governor of Minnesota made headlines when he announced his Legends deal recently, and looks to be taking on a commentary role at WWE. Morgan celebrated her title defense with Raquel Rodriguez and Dominic Mysterio, but before she reached the backstage area, Rhea Ripley appeared. The pair had a brief stare-down with Liv holding up her title in Ripley's face. What else happened at Saturday night's main event? Saturday night's main event saw the inaugural Women's United States Championship tournament come to a close, with Chelsea Green and Micah battling it out in the final. The WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens closed the show, with chaos ensuing after the PLE went off air. WWE rumors on Liv Morgan's injury, Goldberg and Royal Rumble, and Jade Cargill's status. Morgan avoided broken nose at SNME. Liv Morgan was left bloody from her victory over IYO SKY at Saturday night's main event, but PWInsider.com's Mike Johnson reported she didn't suffer a broken nose. Midway through the match, Morgan received a vicious knee to the face from Sky. Between the impact of that strike along with the image of the champion bleeding slightly from the nose, many fans assumed the worst. This would have been the second recent injury during Morgan's prolonged feud with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley fractured her right orbital socket in October, though she returned for Survivor Series War Games last month. The two continued to have unfinished business. After Morgan successfully defended her title Saturday night, Ripley confronted her and stared her down on the entrance ramp. Things could finally come to a head at Royal Rumble on February 1st. Morgan avoiding a more serious injury at Saturday night's main event means whatever WWE originally had planned won't be disrupted. Goldberg ready to answer Royal Rumble call. Speaking of Royal Rumble, Gage Goldberg told Sportskeeda's Bill Apter his dad, Bill, would 100% be receptive if WWE reached out to him about being on the show. He hasn't told me that yet, but who knows? Gage said, he'd definitely do it. He'd be down for anything. If they tell him, okay, you're going to fight this guy, he's going to do it. Although Bill Goldberg hasn't competed since Elimination Chamber 2022, a WWE comeback in some form is inevitable. At Bad Blood in October, the WWE Hall of Famer became an unexpected part of the program when he took exception to some pointed remarks from Gunther and leapt over the ringside barricade. Goldberg then confirmed in November on ESPN's SEC Nation he intends to have one last farewell match with WWE in 2025. He didn't provide any further detail about the date or location. Because of its prominence and position on the calendar, a battle between Goldberg and Gunther at Royal Rumble would make sense. It remains one of WWE's traditional Big Four shows, and Gunther would have a notable feud to keep him occupied until it's time to build toward WrestleMania 41. Alas, there's nothing beyond Gage's comments that points toward Goldberg's involvement in the premium live event. Cargill reportedly working on outside projects. WWE fans haven't seen Jade Cargill since the November 22nd edition of SmackDown, when she was shown laid out on the hood of a car backstage. WWE said she suffered multiple injuries, including a sprained MCL and deep lumbar paraspinal muscle contusions in the off-camera attack. Cargill may not be returning soon either. During the most recent edition of SmackDown last Friday, Naomi said she's ready to fill in for the 32-year-old to help Bianca Belair defend the women's tag team titles. Citing several high-up sources, Johnson reported that Cargill has been working on some outside projects during her break from WWE programming. She's also vacationing in the Bahamas. This comes against the backdrop the general uncertainty behind the reason for her absence. Cargill might be recuperating from a legitimate injury, or other factors might be at play. To that end, Naomi's inclusion in the tag title picture could have one of two plausible explanations. Cargill is going to be out for an extended period and WWE wants to keep the gold around Belair's waist. Or this is teeing up Naomi to be the person who orchestrated the backstage assault on Cargill. WWE Saturday Night's Main Event 2024 featured a top-tier match with Liv Morgan defending her WWE Women's World Championship against IYO SKY. However, there was one particular spot that caught the attention of fans, leading to concerns for Morgan all over social media. Both Liv Morgan and IYO SKY walked into the match, with Morgan leaving behind Raquel Rodriguez and her beloved Dominic Mysterio, and IYO going it alone without her damage control cohort. The match was a highly exhilarating affair that captivated the audience in attendance for the return of WWE's vintage show. During the match, one of the spots showed IYO SKY striking her knee right across Liv Morgan's nose. This was a brutal spot. This led to Morgan bleeding on live television and speculation that she might have broken her nose. Liv Morgan sends a message after defeating IYO SKY at WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. Liv Morgan proved herself at WWE Saturday Night's Main Event as she defeated IYO SKY to retain her Women's World Championship. The star took to Instagram to send a message after the huge win. The match was set up after Sky won the Battle Royal to determine the #1 contender for Morgan's title. The two women put on an enthralling match, but in the end, the champion managed to walk out with gold around her waist after picking up a pinfall victory. After the match, Liv was also confronted by Rhea Ripley, seemingly confirming that Mommy is next in line for the title she never lost. Liv Morgan has been calling herself the greatest women's world champion of all time and reiterated the same after her win on Saturday. She also posted several photos and videos from her match against IYO SKY. Liv Morgan praised IYO SKY after their match at WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. Liv Morgan and IYO SKY took each other to their limits at Saturday Night's Main Event. While the Japanese star was unable to win the title, she received praise from the sea.